Excuse me. Shalom, giving all praises. Giving all praises to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. So I'm going to entitle this video, excuse me, Blacks do not own South Africa. Whites do. When I say blacks, I'm talking about African people, which South Africans, for the most part, are Israelites. Shaka Zulu is an Israelite. The people of the Zulus, when you go into the history of the Zulus, they stem from North Africa under the Bantus. They were part of the Bantus, which the Bantus are Israelites. The people of Benin in Africa are Israelites. The Nigerians, whether it be Igbo, or which means Hebrew, or Yoruba, or any other tribes, those are two prominent tribes. The Israelites, Senegalese are Israelites. Malcolm X's father was a Senegalese. So you have, one group, ISBK, they're beginning to wake up to the fact that a lot of the people in Africa are Jakes, mingled among Africans. So are you going to say that Malcolm X was a Hamite? He didn't have a flavor of Hamite. So his father, and it's hard to find. I found this back, I don't know, maybe 2012, and I couldn't find it since. But there was a story, article through Google. This is, I believe, it was 2012. It could have been 2011. That Malcolm X's father he's a big dude, and he was very dark skinned, looked like very dark skinned, you know. And his line goes directly back to the people of Senegal. So when you go to Africa, you're gonna run into Hamites, and you're gonna run into Israelites, and you're gonna know by the spirit, the way they move, the way their spirit, the way they do things. You're gonna pick up that this guy's got Israelite spirit to him. But anyway, you had Donald Trump, out of the kindness of his heart, allow about 49, 50 white South Africaners to come to the country, and believe me, they're going to be taken care of. They're going to get triple welfare. They're going to get food stamps, welfare, Section 8. They're going to get all that. So that money that he took from these different programs are going to partially go to them, because they're oppressed, and the black Africans ain't doing shit. The white man, the so-called white man, owns and controls Africa. He never gave up Africa. And don't give me this Nelson Mandela crap, because Nelson Mandela was nothing but a puppet. He was nothing but a puppet. Every black African, so-called black African presidents are nothing but puppets that do the bidding of Esau behind the scenes. This is this man's land. So I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to go to Habakkuk. So if you hear of any black Africans going on white African farm to take their land, there's a reason, because that's their land. This is their land. And Nelson Mandela should have straightened that out, which he didn't. He was a puppet. That's all he was. So anyway, so this man is not going to be ousted until the destruction comes, until Armageddon takes place, till the world experiences Armageddon. Armageddon is when when Yahushua and the angels come back to deliver the elect of Israel, not all Israel. I did a video last night of a guy, Kemuel, who was part of Future World of Israel, that came into it after the breakup between Barak Shaw and Bishop Nate and Elder Barak Shaw or whatever. And this guy came in at 16. He fell out at about 21, 22, and he went right back into being a Christian. And in the video, I pretty much said this guy's not one of the elect. I don't give a damn if you put 5 years in, 6 years in. If you fall off, you would never one of the elect. Somebody should show him 1 John 2 verse 19, which I'll probably read. But anyway, so this is from the AI overview, right? I asked a question: what race owns the most land in South Africa? It says in South Africa, white people own the most land, specifically agricultural land, farmland. So you had these skirmishes of blacks attacking whites. Although it's illegal under their law, it's a natural law. It's natural law. The small hats applied it. The Rothschilds applied it to the land of Palestine, saying, "Oh, you Palestinians don't belong here because this is our land originally, so we're going to take the land." That's the justification. And this is why they have to hide the fact that they're the people. See, when we come up and we say that we're the Israelites, if we say that we're, as so-called black people, people of color, if we say we're the Israelites, well then the question is, who are these people over there? Which, by the way, if Esau is wondering, well, how do you know that you're Israelites? Because the curses and the scriptures point to us. Deuteronomy 28 points to us. It doesn't point to Edomites. Edomite, European looking motherfuckers didn't go from one place to another place in cargo slave ships. Now they came over here to the Americas, the turn of the century, and they didn't come over here to serve slavery. They came over here to work. Even they were at the bottom of society, they still had jobs. They wasn't put in the hardcore slavery. There's no records of any European small hats having yokes of iron around their neck. And it's clear that they had put jakes. If you go to Google, and if you went back 10 years ago and put yoke of iron, go to Google, there'll be all kind of pictures of jakes with yokes of iron around their neck in hardcore slavery. You know, the American slave, the time of hardcore slavery in America, chattel slavery. Chattel is another way of saying cattle. So we were like cattle. We were like animals. Less. What are we? 3/5 of a man. What's 3/5 of a man? Meaning you're less than a man. You're not a complete man. You're just an animal that works in the field for us. You're not a man. You're not a man, right? So somebody showed me a picture of a small hat with yokes of iron around their neck. That never happened. Now, are there Israelites among them? Absolutely. Now, whether it's 5% of them or 35%, we don't know. So we're not saying you people are all Edomites, because some of you are Israelites. Remember, there was a lot of intermarrying going on among Jake. Jake likes to drop their seed. When they take over a nation, Esau does the same thing. When they take over a nation, they overcome a nation. If there's pretty women, they say, why put them to death? We just take them and make them our wives, which are called concubines. Read what is that? Numbers 31. Yeah, Numbers 31. Read Numbers 31. Moses told them to kill the men, kill the women that are married, kill the boys, and save the girls for yourself. Why save the girls, the little ones for yourself? Because you're gonna let them grow into puberty, and you're gonna make them your wives, and then you're gonna have children, and the children that you have are Israelites. So an Israelite can, when you say, see this brother, he dealing with an Edomite woman. If you got what she's supposed to be a concubine, you can have Edomite women because they're Hebrews. They're Shemitic Hebrews. So they're all part of our family, our distant relatives. And if there's babies that are born, they're all Israelites. So what's the difference? So it says here, in South Africa, white people own the most land, specifically agricultural land. So you're thinking, oh, that's probably back in the 50s. Okay, well, let's see if it's current. White South Africans own a substantial present, 2025, this is based upon 2025 information, own a substantial, to this day, own a substantial a majority of farmland. That's where life comes out of, farmland. Estimated at 72%. 72%. That's a lot of land, while comprising around 7% of the population. So 7% of the population, Afrikaners, own 72%, more than 2/3 of the land. Almost 3/4 of the land. 75% would be 3/4 of the land. The majority of the land of the population, 7% of the population. And how did they do that? It's only 7%. How are they able to be in power? Because you got forces from outside that use modern day weapons to keep these Africans in line, black Africans, right? According to Al Jazeera, they own a disproportionately large share of land, almost 75%, 3/4. Black South Africans, which is their land, own a small percentage of farmland, estimated at around 4%. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. Black South Africans represent the majority of the population at around 80%. So what was, well, we got this Africa black again. No, you're not black again. You're back again. When did what's his name? This guy, damn, I can't think of his name. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, he came about, what was it, 88, 89. It was before 90, because he was already in there in 90. So we're talking, let's go to 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. We're talking about 35 years. You had nothing but black presidents of South Africa, but didn't get none of the land back. Other groups, colored, which are mixed Africans with other nations. So you got lighter skinned Jake out there. You got India, South Africans own some land as well. But who owns the lion's share of the land? At 3/4 of the land is owned by whites or Edomites, which represent 7% of the land. So your black Africans, Nelson Mandela, as I said in the beginning of this video, Nelson Mandela was nothing but a puppet. That's all he was. Important context: this disparity in land ownership is a legacy of apartheid. They're still living in the apartheid system. And how do we know that? Because they wouldn't, well, in other words, they modified, let's say. But when all the smoke was cleared and they got rid of apartheid, you're supposed to say, okay, let's take all this land and let's spread it to the true people, right? Like Gad. Gad should get together and tell Esau to get out of America because this is our land. And if they have a problem with that, you use the example of the small hats taking the land back from the Palestinians, which, by the way, some of a large number of Palestinians, I believe, are Jakes. They're not just Arabs. Remember, we mix our seed. We known for mixing. You see a beautiful woman, you kill the men, you're going to pop that woman, and you're going to leave the seed. Now, in law, in ancient law, it's called, I think the seed that you leave are called monsters. And it's, I forget what dictionary, but it's an old dictionary. If you go to another land, and that's what they did. They showed you that in the movie The Bounty, which is a remake of It was I don't know if that's based upon a true story, but the last movie, The Bounty, starring Anthony Hopkins and the racist ass Melly Gibson, inside joke, where they went among the Palestinian, not the Palestinian, the what do you call it, the Samoans and the South Pacificas, which we believe that they're the sons of Japhet. And what the men did, these are European men that fell in love because those women were beautiful. They were gorgeous women, nice bodies, beautiful, gorgeous faces, long hair, and they was popping them and leaving their seed. So you had a mixture. Anyway, let's get back into this. It says a system of racial segregation, like in America, you had the Jim Crow laws. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? And I'm going to go to Habakkuk 2. The time of Habakkuk 2, starting from the first verse, is happening now. If it tarry, wait for it. It shall not tarry, it shall surely come. And this is why they're afraid of us. This is why they want to get us. And we're just using words. They don't have us out in some field shooting targets and shit like that. There's no record of us jumping. Another member of the GMS beat the hell out of a white woman and stole. No. All we're doing is teaching the scriptures and telling you what's going to happen to you. The reason why they are so focused on the former Westerns is because we're the only groups out there. When I say that, I'm talking about IUIC, ICBK, GMS, and the other splinter groups. We're saying that you're going into captivity. The IOG, which is Israel of God out of Chicago, which they're Israelites, they're not teaching that. They're saying, well, if you're a Gentile, you can make it. So the Most High is not dealing with them. And there's many other groups out there that teach. You got the Cherry, you got the Wentworth, you got the Commandment Keepers. They were actually working. They were sitting side by side with the small hats. They were learning from the small hats. And this is why to this day, all these groups, except for GMS and Sakari and Genesis, and the reason why Sakari and Genesis teaches the same thing concerning the Sabbath as GMS, because they started from GMS. So it made all the sense in the world to them. The Sabbath, I'm all over the place, please bear with me. The Sabbath is based upon the new moon. Every high holy day is based upon the new moon. The very first high holy day in Leviticus chapter 23 is the Sabbath. And it's always based upon the new moon. So any group that's saying Friday sundown and Saturday sundown, they're not deep. They need to get deep. Captain Tazariak, you deep. You need to get deeper. You need to stop teaching. You need to stop teaching that Friday sundown and Saturday sundown is a Sabbath. But y'all don't do that because it's so far-fetched. It's like so out of the way. It's from left field. What's going on here? Oh boy. Hey, Nate should be teaching. Nate is a great master and a great teacher that the Spirit gave him all his knowledge. But the Spirit, you look at the fringes and ask the fringes, is it Friday sundown and Saturday sundown and Sabbath? And if the fringes can talk, they'll say no. It's based upon the new moon. Anyway, let me go into the word apartheid. Let's go into the word apartheid. So Nelson Mandela did not restore the glory of the South Africans. He was just a puppet. The natives are getting restless. Let me see. Apartheid. All right, you know what I'm going to do? South African flag. Let's see what comes up. Okay, wait a minute. That's the apartheid flag. What is this? The Union Jack. The flag of Great Britain. And I believe one of these flags must be the flag of the Dutch. I got to go into the flags. So that's flag of South Africa. Well, the Union Jack has nothing to do with Africa. I'm not going to go all into it. Let's come on back. Excuse me. Okay, give me a second here. Let's go to South Africa. AI. Okay, this right here is nothing but another puppet. Nothing but a puppet. The apartheid, 1948 to 1994 in South Africa was a racial segregation under the all-white blah, blah, blah. Which they rule, but they just rule behind the scenes. They got a puppet. He's a puppet. Milestone in the history of U.S. foreign relations. Apartheid was a system of institutionalized racial segregation. So if Trump and others around the world, they would call for all Europeans to get in line or to leave the country. But they're not doing that. And it's in history, it's in the history books, it's recorded that there was a period called the apartheid. Guess what? You're still under an apartheid rule. Why? Because Europeans run the country behind the scenes. And that's the best way to run something, behind the scenes. The people that run America, Trump does not run America. He's middle management. He's like a manager at McDonald's. Let me see. Apartheid was a system of institutionalized racial segregation. Over here in America it was called what the hell is it? Damn, I just said it. Can't think of it. It'll come back to me. Oh, Jim Crow. Apartheid is the African version of the American Jim Crow. You had white-only restaurants. The so-called blacks had to go through the back door. You had a fountain that was nice and clean and pristine. Whites only, then right next to it, coloreds, But we're the hate group. It enforced the separation of white minorities from the black majorities, creating a system of vast inequality and limiting the rights of non-whites in a black man's land. Let me do this. This is the president, right? Which is the puppet. A list of black presidents starting from Nelson Mandela. Okay, this is the... Okay, so Nelson Mandela. Okay, boom. Wow. Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first democratically elected president, serving from 1994 to 1999. I believe it was before that. I was dealing with this chick back in 88, 89. And Nelson, well, maybe he got officially, he was moving up in the ranks, I guess. So you got Nelson Mandela. So Esau said, yeah, the natives are getting restless. Let's give them a puppet so they can think that they're free. Because the first act, if Nelson was the leader of the country, he would have kicked all the Europeans out or took their lands back. Okay, so this is another guy. Let me go further down. Okay, the list of presidents, the list of South African presidents by age. I don't want by age. From Mandela to Ramaphosa, which I believe it's him. Leadership in the age of crisis. So you people that vote, you're stupid. You're fucking stupid. All black guys wearing European-style troops, getting the script from the elite behind the scenes. Oh, we're good, we're free. You do that little African dance. Oh, we're free. You're not fucking free. These are puppets. Every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every last one of them are puppets. This is the current puppet. Because if at a 5 from the early 90s up until 2025, you had 5 black African presidents which didn't do nothing for fucking black people. Give me a second here. Jim Crow laws, meaning Jim Crow laws, AI overview, were state and local laws that enforce racial segregation. Sounds like apartheid to me. And discrimination against African Americans, which are Israelites, in the southern, which because we're under the curses, in the southern United States. It happened up here in the north too, but not as blatant. Primarily after the Civil War, right after the Civil War, and into the mid 20th century, these laws created a system of separation in unequal public spaces, and limited black Americans, Israelites' ability to participate in politics and society. Right, they had to come with the Voters Act. So you had no fucking rights, you know? Let me go to images. So now the tables are going to turn. And this is what Esau doesn't like. The tables are fitting to turn. The tables are fitting to turn. This is when they had the power seat. You can't do this shit no more. You can't go in blackface no more. You'll get pummeled. This man is getting ready to go down. Payback is a bitch. Payback is a bitch. Anyway, let's go to Isaiah 14. Let me do this. Let me ask a question. Let me ask Chat GBT. Chat GPT. Okay, here's the question. Here's the question. What was I going to say? Is Isaiah chapter 14.
Hey, how's it going?
Chapter
I'm looking
14.
forward to working together. Figure out where to start.
I'm sorry. Let me do it this way. Is Isaiah 14 a future prophecy? See, we're a threat to these people. Isaiah 14 is a complex passage, and whether it's considered a future prophecy depends on how it's interpreted, particularly the relation to historical, theological, and eschatological, perspectives. Here's a breakdown to help you understand. Context. Isaiah 14 is part of a larger section. Isaiah 13, Isaiah 23, that contains articles against the nations. Articles against the nations. The fall of Babylon. Which Babylon? Judgment on Assyria and Palestinians, right? The Arabs, right? Another word for America's Babylon and also Assyria. All right? Main interpretations, historical view, Babylon, the prophecy primarily addresses ancient Babylon. It's actually talking about modern Babylon, predicting its downfall, fulfill historically. King of Babylon, often interpreted as poetic or satirical depiction of the fall of a tyrant. The fall of a tyrant. Do we know a tyrant? Is there any tyrants among us? Yes, there is. Tyrant, commonly understood to be a historical Babylonian ruler, the new Babylon, possibly the Nebuchadnezzar. No. Spiritual, symbolic views. Some traditions, especially Christians, see the king of Babylon as a symbol of Satan, right? He's Satan. The king of Babylon, the cruel Lord, is also a Satanite. That's a new one, a Satanite. You're not Satan, you're a Satanite. Especially Isaiah 14, 12 to 15, the morning star, which is Lucifer. It just means light bearer. Yahushua is also known as Lucifer. Okay, for you Christians out there. This interpretation is not explicit in the text itself. It became more prominent in later Christian theology, particularly in early Christian and medieval eschatology. I can say eschatological future events. Some readers, especially within futurist or dispensational theories dealing with eschatology, see elements of Isaiah 14 as having dual fulfillment, just like us. It's having dual fulfillment. It's actually a future prophecy. Isaiah thought it was talking about the old Babylon, Neo-Babylon. It was actually talking about this Babylon, the Babylon the Great, a past fulfillment in the fall of ancient Babylon. It's not talking about ancient Babylon, a future fulfillment. That's what it's talking about. Isaiah 14 is talking about a future fulfillment. So there's a new Babylon in a coming global system symbolized by Babylon in Revelation 17 and 18. When it mentions we're gonna see how many times the word Babylon come up in Revelation 17 and 18. The mocking of the fallen king. They're mocking this guy. They're mocking this guy. The whole world is mocking him, right? May be viewed as a picture of the final defeat of evil or antichrist at the end of the age. So they're saying eschatologists and future view, which is a future. They're saying Isaiah 14 is a future thing. This is what we teach. Summary in Isaiah 14, a future prophecy, historically most fulfilled with the fall of Babylon and judgment on ancient nations. Spiritually may be interpreted symbolically Satan or prideful rulers. Who's the prideful ruler? Who's the cruel Lord? In Isaiah 19, eschatologically, some believe it has a dual fulfillment, which they're right on that, with future prophetic application to the final judgment of evil powers. Esau is the end of the world. The fulfillment of the evil powers. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. If you're studying it in a specific religious or theological context, i.e., examples given, Christian futurism, I'm going to look that word up. That's a new word to me. Jewish tradition, historical, critical scholarship, the interpretation might vary. Would you like an analysis from one of these specific viewpoints? Let me go to Christian futurism. The Messiah coming back is, where can I put this there? Future Christian, excuse me, futurism is a theological and eschatology. It's hard. Eschatological perspective that interprets many of the prophecies, which includes Isaiah 14 in the Bible, particularly in the book of Daniel, Ezekiel, Jeremiah should be in there, Joel, Obadiah, and Revelation, as referring to future events that have not yet occurred. Isaiah chapter 14 has not yet occurred. It stands in contrast of other interpretive frameworks like predecision, which sees prophecies as mostly fulfilled in the past. Right, someone that's a let me use the word predecision. Predecessor, I believe the word is, that's eschatology, the study of eschatology. Eschatology means the study of and the end of all things, meaning everything. Like William Bell, he's an eschatologist at Jake. He knows about us. And he's lost. He's lost as lost as you can be. He said that everything in the scriptures, the prophecies, they all came to pass, including Revelation. So according to that, we're in the kingdom. We're not in the kingdom. Views which see them as unfolding throughout history. Here's an overview of Christian futurism, its key concepts and branches, core beliefs of Christian futurism, literal second coming of the Messiah. Future, that's Christian futurism, which we teach. So if anything, we're also Christian futurists, right? Futurists believe Jesus will return physically and visibly to earth in the future. And Vocab believes that too. So Vocab is also a Christian futurist. Unfulfilled prophecy. Many prophecies, especially those in Revelation 4, chapter 4 to 22, Daniel 9, Matthew 24. You can put Isaiah 14, Isaiah 34, Joel 2, Joel 3, Jeremiah 49, 15, 51, Ezekiel, Habakkuk, okay, are seen as yet to be fulfilled, and that includes Isaiah 14. Tribulation and Antichrist. Right, the Antichrist is a future event, which there's no, they haven't figured out that there's no such thing as an Antichrist. There are many Antichrists. That's in 1 John 2. A future 7-year period. They don't understand that. That's based upon Daniel 9, which they don't understand that Daniel 9 took place already. The whole Daniel 9 chapter took place already 2,000 years ago, often tied to Daniel's 70 weeks. That already took place. The 70 weeks took place, during which the Antichrist, there's no such thing as an Antichrist, will rise to power. That's why they always want to have debates with us. Okay, a millennial kingdom. After the tribulation, the Messiah will rule on earth for 1,000 years, and then Gog and Magog is going to get us. No, Nate, Gog and Magog, you need to stop. You need to swallow your pride once in your life. Swallow your pride. But you know what? Blinding you, you got a whole lot of people, and you look like you polished. And people, Jake likes that. Jake buys a car. If the car look good, it's a certain brand of car. If the system is bumping, it's got a bumping system in it, and what do you call it? The rims are tight. They get it. They don't know. They're not concerned about the gas amount, how much gas how many miles you get off the gallon, whether the AC work. Jake does that. These rappers, these boxers, they'll go to jewelers and they'll buy a gold piece, handcrafted gold piece, and have no clue as to what the price of gold is. Are clueless. Jake is basically stupid when it comes to those things. So when you wrap something nice and make it glitter, niggas run to that. That's ninjas run to that. If it look good, they run to that. That's why these damn women got these BBLs. Ain't no real Jake like no woman with no BBL. And now the BBL, they're starting, maggots are coming out of them BBLs. So any of you women that took them BBLs, your husband's gonna leave you. Ain't nobody want to, look, I'll take a little ass, a little something, instead of a big fucking, what you call it, BBL. And you Israelite women that's taking a BBL, Yahweh Shem Yahushua gonna kill you. Ain't nobody want the black woman. The white man don't want you. Jake don't want you. We don't want you. Just go somewhere and die. Often interpreted literally, forgive me for that rant, by futurists. So we are also futurists. Rapture is not even in the Bible. Okay? Yeah, the 7-year tribulation, all that nonsense. They don't know. That's why they run to us. That's why they don't want to have a debate. You wanna get next to us to rub us so that spirit can jump on you. The spirit ain't gonna jump on you if you're an Edomite. Anyway, there's a whole lot more which I don't have to read. But let's come on back. So Jim Crow, right? Jim Crow. That's Jim Crow. But the GMS is a hate group. The white man is a hate group. Look at that. Colored only. And let me get a better. Let me see. I want to get a better belt way in the back. Jake, we got the hat. See, that's Jake right there. That's Jake. Give me a second here. Here we go. Here we go. You got the fucked up ass water fountain, and then you got the nice water fountain for Edomites. But they're gonna call us. They got some nerve to call. The old saying. Look at the pot calling the kettle black. Look at this. Look at this. If you were to go to this fountain, let's say you were blind Jake, and you went to this fountain, they'll beat the shit out of you and lock your ass up and might kill you, might hang you, lynch you. Let bygone be bygones. Yeah, you're gonna be bygone. We're gonna say bye, and you're gonna be gone. When we Obadiah 118 your asses, and that's gonna happen. That's gonna be a high holy day. This is psychological, but this is the curses. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28. Look at this. Look at this Paramount Theater, colored entrance. Enjoy good show and comfort. This is the back. You can't come in with the white people. And you had a lot of Edomite women that got with Jake men because they were into Jake men, and they would catch him, and then they would say they bring her to the side and say tell him that he raped you. Yeah, he raped you all right 25 times. And you kept coming to his house. Yeah, he raped you. Payback is a motherfucking bitch. Payback is a bitch. But we're racist. We're racist. But that's Esau, duality. This represents Esau and this represents Jacob. Now he might be a Jake. His line might go back to the Irish. You had a lot of our people that passed for white. And they said, no, let me get them blessings. I'm gonna act like a white man until I die. You bunch of niggas. Let me see here. Okay, let's look at this. Jim Crow, show photo ID. I remember you. Yeah, devil. Vote here. And back in the day, you didn't have photo ID. I remember my first license. There was no picture of the ID, and there was a big thing about that. So you can change the date and shit, and the cop sees it. If you don't know it, he'll let you go. The insurance, you'll be able to change. You can drive with the insurance. If you didn't have the time to pay the renewal for the insurance, you can drive. You drive one without insurance, with your so-called fingers crossed, hoping that you don't get stopped. And then if you did get stopped, you would doctor the insurance card and they'll let you go. They stop all that. Now, insurance company, as soon as your shit, is canceled, it goes right to the DMV. And they're going to send you a letter. Oh, you've been canceled. Your insurance has been canceled for 2 weeks. You're going to have to surrender your plates, or you're going to have to pay us. Back then it was $8 a day. Now it's probably more. But if you did it a second time, you couldn't pay for it. You had to surrender. I remember I had to surrender, I had to park the car somewhere, take the fucking plates off and give it to them, and then wait 2 weeks or whatever. And a lot of times you had insurance companies that would lie to you and say your insurance is good, take the money, and they would go out of business. These devils got a lot to fucking pay for. They got a lot to pay for. And every last one of you gonna get it. Okay, the black codes and the Jim Crow war, I don't know what this is all about. You got these Jakes. Those are all Israelites, man. Them are all Hey, but you see how Jake, none of them were fat. The food that we eat, these chemicals in the food make us fat. None of them are fat. All of them look healthy. Them are Israelites in the faces. Look at the style, the hair. They got the brims. There's nothing but Jake, man. Oh, Jake looking sharp as hell. Jake looking sharp as hell. He got the conch. These are Israelites, man. These are Israelites. This is beautiful, man. And you got the oh, wait a minute. What the hell is this? You got Edomites sitting next to this guy looked like Barack Obama. These are college kids. And they had them soaked the small hats fighting, the black struggle. And a lot of them Edomite women was giving up to Jake. So Jim Crow, the South African version of Jim Crow is called apartheid, which is nothing but Jim Crow. Jim Crow must go. No, because you had to be under the curses. You had to be under the curses. And we're a hate group, but the white man is not a hate nation. The presence of segregation, the absence of democracy, Jim Crow must go. Yeah, they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. Yeah, you got a damn priest. We know the backstory of these priests, what they like to do behind closed doors to boys. Music, busing, segregation. Oh, we're following the white man. Oh, this is the great white man. Anyway, let me see what this is all about. Back then, you can buy a car for like $1,000, brand new car for $500, $1,000. Rent was like $5 a month, $10 a month. If you were paying $100 a month for rent back in the day, you were living like a king. Because everything was on a gold and silver standard, which people don't understand. There's a lot that you don't understand that we understand, because we studies, man. And he ain't nothing but a puppet. Nothing but a puppet. And when he came on the scene, them blacks hated this guy. He was nothing but a puppet. And he went both ways. He was a womanizer too. He's such a great. He told one of the pastors, Jake Man, like the secretary, and she was playing hard to get, and he said, "Oh, grape her," and he did. So how can this man be a man if this man was a fucking puppet of the Illuminati? I believe there's a picture of him and his wife, and she was dealing with a small hat. These are insiders, bro. Malcolm X was an insider too. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's go here. So now I'm going to close it with this. Oh, I said I was going to go to Isaiah, right? Isaiah 14. For the Lord would have mercy on Jacob. Future prophecy. If you're a Christian futurist, then you know that this is going to happen. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, because there was a split. We all know that. So they had to come. The great coming together is now in this country. They stood upon their feet, a great exceeding army. And the people looked in fear and set them in their own land. That's getting ready to happen after this place is destroyed. And Israel, Palestine is rebuilt back up. And the strangers, which are Israelites, you other groups out there, IUIC, I believe IUCBK, they teach that the strangers are the other nations. The strangers in Isaiah 14:1 are Israelites, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Because these strangers they're going to realize that they are of the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. These are the other nations, starting with Esau, and the land of Yahweh for servants. They're going to be in Israel because they're going to build stuff up. They're going to do things in the land of Israel and around the world, anywhere we dwelt. And for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord to give them rest from all the sorrows, fears, and from the hard bondage they were made to serve. That thou shalt take up this proverb. Who's taking up the proverb against the king of Babylon? We are. King of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? This man is going down. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked, the power of the wicked, the right hand of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continued stroke, he that ruleth nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. And none hindereth. When we take your ass out, we're not going to stop. The whole earth is at rest. When our kingdom comes and is quiet, they break forth into singing. And that's going to be forever. Okay, so let me pull out a couple of words right here. Let me go right here. Then I'm going to close. I said I was going to go to Habakkuk. Let me go to Habakkuk. Because the dark nations, they see right through this man. They see right through him. People shall take them and bring them in the place. House of Israel shall possess them. Possess them. Own the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Look up the word. Let's look up the word oppressor. The word is nagash. To press, drive, oppress, exact, exert, demanding, pressure, to press, drive, to exact, driver, a taskmaster, ruler, oppressor, tyrant, lord, exactor of tribute, to be hard pressed, meaning we're gonna put the squeeze on you. We're gonna put the squeeze on you. Let's come on back. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. But it's not going to be the end of Esau. Esau's going to be among us, and they're going to get the squeeze put on them. They're going to get squeezed. Come on back. Back to the basics. Possess. Let me go to the word. Let me go to the word handmaids. Women's servants. The word is shapaka. Shapaka. Maid servant, slave girl, maid, and you're going to be popping them too. Maid servant as belonging to a mistress of address, speaker, humility. Because our women are going to have slaves, handmaids. Did not Rachel and Leah have their handmaids, and did not they tell their handmaids to go lay with my husband Jacob? Let me bring it back. Let's look up the word captive. The word is shabah. To take captive, captive, to lead captive, to be taken captive, slavery, take, carry away, captive. Let me click on this. See how many times it scrolled up. Okay, I don't want that. Let's click on this captive 37 times. There you go. You can read them. You Edomites read them and weep. And the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captives, his forces and foreigners entered in into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. Thou was one of them. Let's look this up in the let's see what the commentary says. The Bible Hub, as Bishop Nate started using this, because he watched me use it, he said, oh, that's a good, let me start you. If you notice, IUIC is start going into dictionaries and they're looking up words, and then they're starting to kind of delve into the Hebrew and the Greek. They listen to us. They listen to us. We make them do what they do. And the zombies can't pick that up. Wait a minute, I know Tahar be going into the Bible Hub now. You got Nate going in there. I believe Nate is a secret disciple of the and they are. It ain't nothing wrong with that. Because if they're teaching, they'll bring out a certain precept. Oh, that's a good precept. I'm going to use that. But I'll give you the credit. That's the difference between me and you. I will give you the credit. Okay, let me do this. What the hell did I do? What the hell was I going to do? Oh, but why did this happen? Let me do this. Why did it go back to Google? Okay. Obadiah 1:11, Bible Hub. Let's see what it says. Commentary. Then we're going to go to Habakkuk, and then we're going to close. Back to the basics, baby. BBB. Okay. And the day that stood on the side, I want to get where it says Edom or Esau. And put in the E. Let me put the okay, good. I found it. In the day that thou stoodest, in the day that thou stoodest, in the day of the standing, nothing can certainly be decided from the language of this and the following verses as to whether the conduct here ascribes to the Edomites. Obadiah 1, verse 10 and 11 are referring to the Edomites. So it's a future prophecy. I mean, no, it happened. It happened already. Was the 18 is a future prophecy. Was a thing of the past when Obadiah wrote, or was it still future? The phrase in the day of the standing, blah, 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 blah. That's all I wanted. Okay, so they said right here, Matthew Henry's, this prophecy is against Edom. This destruction seems to have been typical as their father Esau's rejection, and to refer to the destruction of the enemies of the gospel or the church, which are the Israelites. See the prediction of the success of what war, of that war, Edom shall be spoiled and brought down. Edom again, Edom. You already know it. So the scholars agree. When we say, a Christian said, oh, you guys just made that up. It doesn't say Edom. Oh, when all the scholars say it. Most of your prominent Christian scholars say it. Look, Edom is here how many damn times? Look at this. The Keel and Delitzsch Bible commentary on the Old Testament. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times Edom comes up. This is talking about Edom. The cause of the ruin of the Edomites is their wickedness toward their brother nation Jacob. Let's go to how the hell did this fucking happen? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do this. Let me close this. Let me go to Obadiah 1 and 18. Let's see what it says. Future event for you Christian futurists out there. The house of Jacob, the house of Joseph, which represents the northern kingdom, both are mentioned to show that the remnant of the whole nation, not only of the 2 tribes, right, the head tribe is Judah, head of the southern kingdom, and head tribe Ephraim of the northern kingdom, but of the 10 is included. The same names are used to describe the entire nation. Psalm 77:15, Psalms 80 verse 1, Psalms 81 verse 4 and 5, Hebrews 5 6. Any remaining a survivor, the punishment here denounced against Edom, the Edomites. Future prophecy is quite distinct from that early punishment of which the nations were summoned to be the instruments. Obadiah 1:1-2. It is that final destruction which is going to happen, which they suffered at the hands of Jews or Israelites only, first of Judah Maccabees, and then in their total extermination of John Hyrcanus. That's bullshit. If I dealt with the scholar, I said, well, wait a minute. Where did so Edomites were done away with during the time of one of the relatives of the Maccabean clan? That all the Edomites were done away with? Is that what you're saying? Okay, well, could you please, I have a question. What nationality, all the Edomites are done away with, what nationality would be the nationality of Herod the Great and the Herodian dynasty. The Herodian dynasty, which lived during the time of the Messiah. So how in the hell can they ultimately be their total extermination? So they're lying right here. Or they're not studying. Even this guy said this clown, Vocab Malone, oh, the Edomites are done away with. Then we went into the Herod thing. He said, well, there's no record of the Edomites after 70 AD. Oh, yes, there is. There were 2 Edomites that were caught up in the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii. They mentioned 2 Edomites that go back to the what do you call it? The dynasty, the Edomite dynasty, the Herodian dynasty. So what the hell are you talking about? Edomites are here. That's you so-called white people. You're the Edomites. But you try to hide it by saying, oh, the Edomites are done away with, so we're not the Edomites. Yes, you are the Edomites. Yes, you are. You better hope some of you Israelites that look like Edomites. So let's go, Habakkuk. This is why everybody's raised. Hey, Trump is over there kissing booty. He's kissing booty. He's saluting these Arabs. He's kissing their asses. Everybody's coming against him. Fox News, all of them. When Fox News come against Trump, that's not a good sign, you know? He received that plane. That fucking plane is almost $500 million. And it has gold toilet seats. They say gold this, gold that. I mean, that's luxury in a motherfucking plane. But then they're asking him about, you know, is this a quid pro quo? Somebody look that up. So let me close it with Habakkuk. Am I spelling it right? Habakkuk. Okay, 2. And I will stand upon my watch and I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he so saying to me the Most High, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision. The prophets wrote the vision. We are the prophets. Now we are to break down the vision and make it plain upon tables. Now the word in the NLT is tablets, right? A lot of times we read from tablets and smartphones. That he may run that readeth it, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak and shall not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, it shall surely come and shall not tarry. Behold, his soul, Esau's soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. How do we know that Cornelius is not an Edomite? Because it said he was a just man. Edomites are not just. Cornelius is Israelite. Yeah. Also, because of this transgression of wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. White Afrikaners own 3/4, 75%, almost 75%, might as well be 75, 72, 75% of the land of South Africa, and their population is only 7%. The math ain't mathing. Then you have black Africans own 4% of the land. That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. And they represent more than almost 90% of the population. So the math ain't mathing, man. That's why the world is waking up. That's why they're waking up. Desire hell is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathers unto himself all nations, and heapeth unto himself all people. Shall not all these, the different nations, take up a parable against him, and a taunt and protest, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. The lands that you got is not your land. Your land is down there south of Moab and Ammon, which is the land of Edom. That's where you belong. As soon as you step foot out of there and claim another land, you breaking the law. Remove not his neighbor's landmark. It says, which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. This is when the Hebrew replies, Because now the 7 used to say, oh, clay is red. No, clay is red, gray, and different. You can color clay. All right? They used to say, oh, that's talking about Esau because he's red like clay. Nope, the word there is debt. The word in the Hebrew is ibatiyat, which means debt or pledge. We're in, according to the debt clock, we're in almost, matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me go there. Because Trump said, you know, not too many words, the debt clock is going to stop and it's going to start going backwards. Let's see. U.S. debt clock. Look at that. In a couple of months, it'll be 37 trillion with a T. The real debt is well over 200 trillion. Let me see that. Let me see what this is all about. The golden age of wonders. America super cycle. This is that's a R. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is it's Mississippi goes straight through America, just like the Nile goes straight through Africa Egypt. So this is the new Egypt. Okay. And so anyway, you know what? I went a little long with that. On to the next. Shalom.